Welcome to Mindful Leadership, Transforming Lives, with your host, Singh. This is where leadership meets purpose, presence, and passion. In today's fast-paced, high-pressure world, we face a leadership crisis. Too often, teams are led by managers who lack empathy, clarity, and vision, leaving individuals uninspired, disconnected, and undervalued. But it doesn't have to be this way. Great leadership isn't born, it's built. The end game: empower your leadership, inspire the world. Every week, join me, your host Singh, as we tackle the gaps in leadership and life coaching head on, learning how mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and compassion can redefine success. This isn't just another podcast, it's a mission to fill the void left by ineffective leadership. And it's not just about leadership in business. Life coaching for leaders and new executives is at heart of this journey. Ready to rise above the noise and lead with clarity, purpose, and impact? Join a global movement dedicated to reshaping the future of leadership, one mindful moment at a time. Let's begin.
Welcome back to Mindful Leadership, Transforming Lives on the Transformation Network. I'm your host, Singh. And today we are diving into something I know we all have experienced: reacting emotionally and immediately regretting it. You know that moment. You are sitting at dinner, your partner casually looks and asks, "What's for dessert?" And suddenly you snap. Why don't you figure out for once? And then you're left wondering, wait, who just said that? Was that me? That could have been me. But hey, reacting is human and it's easy. Responding thoughtfully, now that's leadership. Today, we are going to talk about emotional reactivity, why it happens, how it hurts your relationship and leadership, and most importantly, how to stop it. We will unpack, break it down with humor, real world examples, and practical tools you can use right away. By the end of this episode, you will have a toolkit to pause, process, and respond like the thoughtful leader you are. Grab a coffee, a calming tea, or whatever helps you not yell at your coworker when they send another email with subject line that says urgent. Let's begin. All right, let's dive into why knee-jerk reactions are the junk food of leadership and how you can stop them from wrecking your relationships, your credibility, and your blood pressure. Let's face it, reacting emotionally in the moment feels amazing for about 5 seconds. It's like eating an entire sleeve of Oreos until you realize you've just committed emotional arson on your own credibility. And don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. We have all sent the accidental all caps email. You know, the one where you are like, okay, how is this my job? And then you spend the next week avoiding eye contact with your coworkers in the break room because you know they're all whispering. Are they okay? Did they sleep long last night? Are they feeling overwhelmed? It's like that viral video from last week where the CEO of that tech startup lost it on live stream because someone asked, "Why are we all still in the office?" And he snapped, saying, "Because I'm paying for this office. You want to work from home? Go start your own company." That's what might have been right. But emotional outburst just launched 500 resignations and a PR nightmare. Lesson: leadership isn't about being right, it's about being calm enough to lead. And here's the thing: when you react emotionally, you are not leading, you are leaking. You are leaking frustration, anger, and stress all over your team and your relationships. And nobody wants to follow a leader who can't keep their cool. It's like trusting a chef who yells, "I don't care what you ordered," and throws a raw chicken at you. Okay, we'll get nerdy for a second here. So here's what actually happening when you lose it emotionally. Your brain's amygdala, the little almond shaped part that controls fight or flight, decides it's showtime. It hijacks your rational prefrontal cortex and screams, "We have got a threat. Shut down logic. Engage DEFCON 1." and suddenly you're replying to emails like you're fighting off a bear. The problem is your brain can't tell the difference between lion chasing you and Karen from accounting asking you for the fourth time. So when are we going to get reimbursed for the holiday party? See, your amygdala is like that drunk friend at the party who is always ready to fight. It's yelling, that guy looked at you funny. Let's go. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex is sober friend saying, no, dude, you are just trying to find the bathroom. Let's calm down. But here's the deal. You're not stuck with an overactive brain. You can train it. Studies show that mindfulness practices like deep breathing, pausing, and reframing can literally rewire your brain. It's like creating your emotional operating system from Windows 95 to Mac OS Ventura. Let's talk about consequences for a second. Knee jerk reactions don't hurt your leadership. Think about it. It's not just your leadership, they also torch your relationships. Because when you react emotionally, you make the moment about you instead of the other person. Think about it. When you snap, this isn't my job. What you are really saying is, I am overwhelmed. I am stressed. I need you to know. But what do people hear when you say, this isn't my job? That you are the problem. It's like your partner forgets to take out trash. And instead of calmly saying, hey, can you figure out a better system for chores? You shout, do I have to do everything around here? And now, congratulations. You are in full blown argument about who forgot to buy milk 6 months ago. It's, you know how on airplanes, they tell you to put your oxygen mask first before helping others? Emotional reactivity is the opposite. You're basically ripping off someone else's mask so you can yell, why isn't this working? Right? Reacting emotionally in the moment might feel good, but it shifts the focus away from solving the problem and puts spotlight on your stress. And trust me, nobody wants to follow a stressed out leader. Just like nobody wants to follow a GPS that keeps shouting, make a U turn, make a U turn, make a U turn every 5 seconds. All right. So we have talked about why emotional reactivity is junk food of leadership. It feels good in the moment, but leaves you with regret and a bad reputation. Now let's get practical. I'm going to share 3 tools to help you pause, process, and respond thoughtfully instead of emotionally. These tools are like real smoothies of emotional management, nutritious, effective, and surprisingly satisfying once you get the hang of it. So, the first framework I'm going to share with you is the focus framework I mentioned in the last episode also. So, it is your emotional GPS. It helps you navigate the storm of feelings so you can get to thoughtful, intentional actions without making a U turn into Snuffle. So, feel the emotion. The first step is to feel the emotion. And I know what you're thinking. Feel the emotion. I'm already feeling it. Well, that's the problem. But here's the thing, you can't manage what you don't recognize. It's like trying to fix a leaky faucet without first figuring out where the water's coming from. Think of it this way. Your emotions are like a toddler having a meltdown in the middle of Target. You can't just ignore them and hope they stop screaming. You have got to kneel down, make an eye contact, and say, okay, what's going on here? Are we upset because we didn't get the dinosaur shaped chicken nuggets? See, when you feel that surge of anger and frustration or anxiety, pause and name it. So say to yourself, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling overwhelmed. The simple act activates your prefrontal cortex, the logical part of your brain, and starts to calm emotional storm. The next step is to observe the situation. I have shared this multiple times. Mindful practice is all about becoming observer in the moment. So step back, observe the situation. This is where you zoom out and ask, what's actually happening here? Is this about the email your coworker just sent? Or is it about the fact that you have been running on caffeine and 3 hours of sleep all week? You know, who couldn't have used this? The sports commentator last week who accidentally let their mic stay on during halftime and got caught trash talking the players. If they would have just paused and observed the situation, oh, right, I'm on live TV, their career would be on life support right now. It would be better. So observing the situation is like looking at your reflection in a funhouse mirror. Your emotions might be making things look bigger and scarier than they really are. But you have to step back and remind yourself this is not the end of the world. This is just Kiran. Kiran from accounting asking for snack receipts again. And that's it. The third step is clarifying your triggers. This step is where you get curious about what's really bothering you. Is it the coworker's email? Or is it, in fact, that you have had 10 back to back Zoom calls and haven't eaten lunch yet? See, clarifying your triggers. Triggers are like landmines. You can't avoid them if you don't know where they are. So, one good example, one of my triggers is people who use reply all unnecessarily. If you're sending an email about donuts in the break room, I don't need to know that Janet is gluten free and Todd prefers jelly filled. Guess what? That's my issue, not theirs, right? I got the email. It's my trigger. So here's an exercise. Think about your most common triggers. Is it interruption? Is it deadlines? Is it people chewing loudly during meetings? Write them down. When you know your triggers, you can prepare to lead and fight them instead of letting them ambush you. The next is to understand the impact. Before you react, think about the ripple effect of your words or actions. Ask yourself, if I say or do this, what's happening? What's going to happen next? This step is like checking the weather before you leave the house. You don't want to walk into storm unprepared. Imagine you are about to send that snarky email. Pause and ask yourself, is this going to solve the problem? Or is it just going to make me the office meme tomorrow? If the fact of your reaction is going to create more drama than it solves, take a step back. Rethink your approach. Leadership is about long term trust, not short term satisfaction. And then the next step, shift into intentional action. Right now, it's time to respond with intention. This is where you choose your words and actions to align with your values and goals. Remember, thoughtful responses build bridges, reactive ones burn them. It's like being at a buffet. So you could pile on everything inside, but then you are left with a mess of regret. Instead, be intentional. Pick what serves you and leave the rest. And here's a challenge. The next time you feel triggered, pause and ask yourself, what's the most effective action I can take right now? Write it down and practice it. This is where the moment you start engaging your prefrontal cortex, which is your living brain, thinking brain, by asking this thoughtful question within the moment, you shut down amygdala, which was your fight and flight mode to begin with. The second practice I want to share today is mindful pause. Now, this is literally about pressing the pause button on your emotions before they run the show, right? When you feel that emotional surge, whether it's anger, frustration, or even excitement, take 3 deep breaths. This small act create space between your feelings and your actions. And in that space, you can choose how to respond. Think of it like buffering a YouTube video. Sure, it's annoying to wait, but once it's loaded, you get much clearer picture. And nobody wants to go viral for the emotional meltdown halfway through a team meeting. Pause with me right now. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath in, hold it, and exhale. See, just that created space for clarity. Now imagine doing that during a tense moment. It's a game changer. The third tool that I want to share with you is reframing emotions. This is about changing how you interpret your feelings so they work for you instead of against you. Emotions are like road signs. They are trying to tell you something. Anxiety, for example, it's not your enemy. It's your body gearing up for action. Reframe it as excitement, and suddenly you are in control. If Beyonce can reframe her nerves as excitement before performing in front of millions, you can reframe your anxiety before giving a PowerPoint to Kyle in IT. Remember that tennis player a couple of weeks back who said they were nervous before the big game? They didn't crumble, they reframed it. I'm nervous because I care. Guess what? They won. All right. Now, now that we have covered the tool, focus, mindful pause, reframing emotion, let's put them into action. Because knowing the tool is great, but using them, that's where magic happens. So let's do a little role play to see how these tools work in real life situations. And don't worry, there's no judgment here. There's a safe space to laugh at our own emotional chaos. Right? Let's set the scene for the first one. You are in a meeting, passionately presenting your ideas, and your coworker, let's call him Chad, keeps interrupting over and over and over. It's like Chad's brain is playing a whack-a-mole with your thumb, right? So, step one, feel the surge of frustration, right? Your inner monologue is screaming, Chad, stop talking. Instead of snapping, you pause and name the emotion. I feel frustrated because I want to be heard. Now, if you are anything like me, your first instinct might be to throw a stapler at Chad. But remember, office supplies are for stapling, not for solving conflicts. Now, step two, zoom out and observe the situation. Is this about Chad being rude, or is he just really excited to contribute? Maybe he's trying to impress the boss. Maybe he's on his seventh cup of coffee. Either way, this isn't personal. It's about Chad, not you. Now, ask yourself, what is actually triggering me? Is it Chad's interruptions, or is it that I feel undervalued? This clarity helps you respond thoughtfully instead of emotionally. Now, before you react, you think, if I snap at Chad in front of the team, how will that affect my credibility? Will it solve anything? Or will it just make things more awkward than a silent elevator ride? I've been there. Finally, you respond with intention. Instead of yelling, Chad, zip it, you calmly say, Chad, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I would like to finish my point before we open up for discussion. See, you just changed and turned around a potential conflict into a collaborative moment. And if you are wondering where Chad will still interrupt your next meeting, the answer is probably yes. But now You have set a boundary and you have done it with grace and without turning the stapler into a weapon. Now, I'll share another use case, walk you through another role play here. Nothing personal, just being observer, right? So let's switch gears to home front. Imagine it's your anniversary. You have been dropping hints for weeks, circling restaurant ads, leaving sticky notes, maybe even DMing them your own Pinterest board. And yet, your partner forgets again. It has happened so many times. I hear this story almost every couple all the time. So, the first one, your emotions. You are hurt, you are angry. You're almost thinking this is the last straw. I'm going to call my mom and tell her she was right about that. But instead of reacting in that moment, you pause and name it. I feel hurt because I wanted today to feel special. See, next, you step back and observe, is this about them not caring, or are they just overwhelmed with work? Maybe they have had a rough week, or maybe they genuinely didn't realize today was the 29th. It's not like calendars come with alarms that scream, don't mess this up, right? So now you ask, what is really upsetting me? Is it missed anniversary gifts? Or is it that I feel unappreciated? Once you figure that out, you can communicate your feelings instead of starting World War III over a missed dinner reservation. If I yell, you never care, what happens next? Sure, it might feel good in the moment, but it's not going to lead to a solution. It's just going to turn the evening into a Netflix marathon of awkward silences. So instead of reacting, you say, I feel hurt because I wanted today to feel special. And we plan a date night this weekend to celebrate. You just turned a potential flight into an opportunity for connection. And if you're wondering whether they will forget next year, the answer is probably still yes. But hey, progress is progress. In the last show and this show, we talked about emotional agility. We'll continue to talk about emotional agility, but we'll talk more about how, as a leader, we will explore emotional agility for the team leadership. So you don't want to miss the next episode, right? So today, I covered with you the focus framework. Feel the emotion, observe the situation, clarify the trigger, understand the impact, and shift into intentional action. We also talked about mindful pause. The top, call it stop, call it pause, whichever way you want to remember, this is a game changer for a lot of people who have sent back DMs. And yes, it takes less than 12 seconds. The science behind why we had to create this micro practices is because of today's digital world. On an average, the span of focus has gone down to 12 seconds. So, 3 deep breath is enough to break that cycle of 12-second focus before you next time scroll your social media post. Reframing. Change how you interpret your feelings so they work for you, not against you. In the last episode, I shared the circle, the wheel of emotion. One of the things I always recommend is to expand your emotional vocabulary. I shared the example today when I said, is it anger or is it anger for something? What is causing that? Being able to get down to that underlying cause. It also helps you to understand your triggers better if you're able to expand your vocabulary around emotions. Remember, leadership is about responding thoughtfully, not throwing staplers or shade. Because reacting emotionally might feel good in the moment, but responding thoughtfully is how you win in work and, yes, even relationships. In the next session, I will also share a unique way of managing emotions through a process called 8, 8, and 8. Divide your day into three equal parts: 8 hours for hard work, no matter what you do for your living, 8 hours of sleep, and then the 8 hours divided into 3F, 3H, and 3S. The 3F, faith, friend, and family. The 3H, health, hygiene, and hobby. And the 3S, soul, service, and smile. So don't miss the next episode. This week, before we wrap up, I challenge you to practice pausing before you react. Whether it's with your kids, partner, or barista who can't spell your name, take a breath and choose your response. I hope this episode resonated with you. Share it with someone who needs it. Let's spread the word about thoughtful response. This is Mindful Leadership on the Transformation Network. Your host, Singh. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you for watching Mindful Leadership Transforming Lives. With me, your host, Singh. We are honored to have you join us on this journey to explore the transformative power of mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and authentic leadership. Tune in every week on transformationtalkradio.com at noon Pacific on Tuesdays, where we will continue to explore how mindful leadership can create a ripple effect of positive changes in your life and lives of those you influence. This show is dedicated to helping you lead with purpose, presence, and passion. Whether you're navigating the complexities of business, building strong connection with your team, or striving to make a meaningful impact in the world around you. To learn more about the show, access additional resources, or dive deeper, visit singpowerupcoach.com. Remember, leadership isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. Let's continue to transform lives together, one mindful moment at a time. See you next week.